So yesterday we talked about scenario 2, and we had some introductions that were made. So for instance, one student was looking for a professor, and they encountered a different professor, and so that professor had to make some introductions. You had to ask about names, that kind of thing. And some of the common difficulties that everyone had were related to these words. They were related to 叫, 姓, and 是. Okay, so when they were introducing, maybe they wanted to say 这位是胡教授。But maybe a lot of people had trouble with which one to use here. Or maybe they introduced a kid and they wanted to say 这是 and the person's name. But again, this verb was very difficult. Okay? So basically, I want to break down, when do you use 叫, when do you use 姓, and when do you use 是? When you're using 叫, you are talking about their full name or maybe just a first name. So you're talking about their full name or maybe just their first name. If you're making introductions to people, it's not likely you're going to use first names anyways. But it is possible to use 叫 and a first name. If you're using 姓, you're using last name only. And if you're using 是, you could use a full name. You could use a first name. Or you could use a last name plus a title. And what do I mean by title? I mean things like 老师, 教授, 先生, something like that. So let's look at some examples. If I had a sentence like this. Oop. 这位胡老师. What verb would I put in there? 是. Yep. Why?
Because you're saying the full name.
It's not really a full name.
Title.
Yep. It's a last name and a title. Okay? Okay, let's say we want to say 他王. Maybe I'm pointing to the person and then saying who they are over there. What verb would I use in here?
叫
No. 姓.姓is only talking about last name. Nothing else. Just last name. And I think that might be a little hard for us culturally, because we don't ever just say his last name is so-and-so. We never do that really. We don't say he's last name Johnson. It's just not a part of what we do. But in Chinese culture, it definitely, definitely is. You don't always have to give someone's first name. You could just say their last name and leave it at that, especially if they're not familiar with each other. Okay, so you could say, a lot of you were saying like, my last name is not this, my last name is that, something like that. You want to make sure you're using 姓. Okay, how about um, 白玛丽. Jiao. Could you say 我姓白玛丽? Nope. If it's 姓, it's just the last name. Okay. What about oh, I put it in there for you. Okay. I think we kind of get it. So I want to give you a chance. If you were here yesterday, you can use this time to kind of rework the skit that you did and look through and see where you might fix those verbs throughout.